Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. This is Your Fielder's Choice MLB Hit and Run DFS Preview. My name is Adam, also known as YFC Sports V12. Brought in with my compadre at YFC Sports Pete, Mr. Pete Cole. How are you doing today, brother?
What's up, Adam? Doing well. It's another day. It's already grinding. We're only not even a week into the season, but we're grinding. Good job last night. You had a good lineup. I saw your core was fired. So we had a good day.
I had a really good day. Yeah, it was good. My research was from this show yesterday morning. So, I mean, not a lot changed. I didn't, it was nice not stressing out, digging in right before lock. And I made my lineups, plenty of time to spare, spent some time out there outside with the kiddos. It was a nice day, man. It was definitely a good turnout. So we're about to get back into it tonight. Obviously, looking at the slate here, we have 3, 6, 9 games possible. Probably 8, depending on weather and what that does. So that's what we're looking at. It's a little bit bigger than obviously yesterday's slate and kind of gets to that. Okay, it's getting a little big here. So we're really going to have to try to dig in. We are going to be going game by game today, folks. We're kind of talking about our show format, and I think that's going to work best today. So we're going to be giving you some notes and thoughts, and we're going to be going through each game. If you have questions, obviously, feel free to put those in the chat or join our free Discord. I'll have one of our team members drop in the link to our free Discord, and we do have a promo right now. MLB promo is half off of all of our premium sports, only $25 per month. Best price in the industry, guys. If you've seen our winning lineup stream, check out the Twitter handles. I'm at YFC Sports V12, at YFC Sports Pete. Also follow us at YFC Sports at yourfielderschoice.com. $25 promo, best in the business. Pete, they got to give us the likes. They got to give us the subscribes and hit the bells for notification on all social formats. It helps us out. We're a growing company, and we just want to have you guys along for the ride. So you ready to get into it, brother?
Let's roll.
All right, man. So we're going to start out with weather first, Pete, just kind of covering that. Give me what you've dug up today. I know we talked about one game in Minnesota. So what does it look like across the spectrum?
Yeah, that's the only game where I see major or any problems, and it's actually major problems. I'm seeing like a really good chance of postponement. So it's going to rain all day. There may be a window to play, but yeah, even in the middle of game time, we'll hit it really quick, but I would be pretty much, if I'm making lineups, I'd probably pretty much be avoiding that game in Minnesota.
Yeah, for sure. I am looking right now, and I was trying to find out, if we were going to actually get the game or not. It doesn't look like, even if it starts out, that it's going to finish. So, I mean, it's just kind of something to keep an eye on. We're going to assume that the game is probably not playing, but if we have any thoughts or anything you want to jump in during that point, please make sure to drop that in the show or in the chats and Discord. So guys, we're going to get into it here. Obviously, we talked about it. We're going game by game. We are going to start out by chronological order. The first game we have on the slate starts at 7:05 Eastern, and it is Milwaukee and Baltimore, Pete. So on this game particularly, can you cover a little bit of pitching, hitting, and then I'll see if I have any things that stand out to me.
All right. Well, first of all, we got do you have a spread on this? The spread, I don't even have a spread. I still have 0.
Yeah, so, I was looking at some Vegas odds. I know Milwaukee's implied for over 5 runs total. Okay. Generally with these, I'm more focused on, I feel like, implied runs on the teams that I'm looking at, but it has to be a pretty healthy spread. So if I can pull that up while you're digging in, I'll go ahead and drop it in here.
Yes. So we got Milwaukee, Baltimore, and of course, starting on Milwaukee side, Eric Lauer. I actually like Eric Lauer. I think he's, everybody talks about the Brewers' top 3, Burns, Woodruff, and Peralta, but a lot of people don't give Eric Lauer credit. And Eric Lauer is a really good lefty. And I really think he's going to make impact this year. Excellent season last year. 3.19 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, 1.34 ERA plus. But especially it was the second half. And he had a really good second half. 11 starts, 2.60 ERA, 0.96 WHIP. That's a really good WHIP. Only allowed 18 earned runs in the second half. Guy's got some fastballs, cutters, bunch of breaking balls. So I like Lauer. He was dominant last year, second half. The problem is the price, 9-1. I think 9-1 is too expensive. It's a good matchup. We've seen when these pitchers, I'm not paying a lot of money for pitchers right now, but none of them are really stretched. We've seen it every game, and we still got to give it a couple weeks. And we know Baltimore K's a lot. Lauer is a little bit of a reverse split pitcher, but he didn't have a full spring training. I'm seeing so Lauer GBP only. On the Baltimore side, I'm getting reports of either two guys, either Spencer Watkins or Alex Wells. One of those two are going to be going. Honestly, I could care less which one. I mean, they just took Wells' contract, and I think Watkins was the one. They just whatever. Either gas can. Watkins is a righty. Wells is a lefty. That's the problem with the Brewers, though, with that high implied. Either way, they're going to be chalky. Renfroe, if it is a lefty going, if it's Wells, Renfroe's going to be in play. I don't like Renfroe's price. He's in a slump, but he's in a smash spot today.
Yeah.
So play any of these. So let's consider if Watkins is going, you want to play the lefties like Yelich, Colton Wong, who may be in the top of the order today. Chalky, I'm probably going to fade them because they're going to be so chalky, but they're in a good spot. And on the other side, the Orioles, I like to know the Orioles lineup. They have some power, but they're very boom and bust, so GVP only. But you can get a little mini stack going against Lauer with some righties. If Austin Hayes jumps up to the top of the order, I would like that a much better. But Trey Mancini's way too cheap. I'll probably get a mini stack going with Mancini, Hayes, and probably like a guy like Santander. And then some ways you can go Mountcastle instead of Mancini. So both GBP stacks for me, both Lauer GBP pitcher, and I'm not running any Orioles pitcher today.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty straightforward. Obviously, you can stack against Lauer, like you said. I personally agree with you. We talked about that pre-show. Milwaukee, whether we get the righty in there, we match the lefties in for Milwaukee, and then vice versa. Obviously, Yelich is good against both sides of the hill. So he's someone to keep an eye on, about $1,000 increase in price. He's at 4.8 right now on DraftKings. So love him. We're going to get some ownership for sure. Love my guy Willie Adames up there batting up top, season long. Shout out to him. All right, man. So we're going to move on to the next game. We have Toronto and the Yanks. Obviously, you are somewhat of a Yanks whisperer. I felt like you were kind of pushing away from them yesterday. We had like one-off bat. I think we talked about Rizzo yesterday, and I almost full faded these guys yesterday, and that turned out great for me because in my 20 lineup exposure, they kind of laid an egg there. So that was a very nice game to fade as well for the Yankees. So pitching, we got Kikuchi, we got Cortez here. Looks like both of these teams are approaching a 5-run total, Pete. What do you see in this game?
Both pitchers. So let's start with the Yankees. Both pitchers, I think GBP pitchers. I like Nestor Cortez. I think Cortez actually is a decent pitcher. He's a K pitcher. Actually, Last season, once he came out from Scranton at the end of May, he actually did well. He 93 innings, 2.90 ERA, 3.75 FIP, 1.05 WHIP, 28% K rate, 6% walk rate. All numbers you like. 1.35 home runs per 9. Not sure about that, but I like Cortez. He'll strike people out. The problem is though, he's got like a 52% fly ball rate to right-handers. That worries me a little bit. So Cortez is the type of guy that is either going to strike you out or the ball is going to go in the air. Right. So that would, of course, makes him a GPP only against his Toronto lineup. But hey, you're multi-entering, definitely get Cortez in a couple lineups.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Kikuchi, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was going to say Kikuchi on the other end. I mean, he's a new guy. He was actually an all-star last year. So they signed him up. He's on the Mariners last year. He was Mariners last year. I'm seeing he's got his velocity's gone up a little bit. He does give up some hard contact. So actually, I think he gives up probably pretty much one of the highest hard contact of most pitchers in MLB. Last year against the Yankees, two different tales. First game he gave up 5 runs and 8 hits, and then the next game he threw 5 shutout innings. So solid overall pitcher though, 25% K rate. He's better against lefties.
Right. Tough
matchup though. You got a guy, high velocity pitcher though, that gives up hard contact. Remember, so this is GBP only with these Yankees. You could see this game go off. Some of these Yankees, a righty like Judge, Stanton's hot. I see DJ LeMahieu as a sneaky play today. So I'm looking at this is definitely game stack GBPs. Nobody really for cash, especially the pitchers. But Yankee side look the typical guys: Donaldson, Judge, DJ, Aaron Hicks, another one. Aaron Hicks, 286 ISO against lefties last year and this year. Hicks is probably one of my sneaky plays. I would probably not even have a problem using Hicks in cash today. And then the Jays are the Jays. We all know about Springer. You had a nice call yesterday. Bo Bichette, Drill. You can go up and down this lineup. I see Kirk's going to be catching because Danny Jansen's on the IL. That just came across. So we're going to see Kirk today. Well, actually, he's going up against lefty, so we would have seen Kirk anyways. But definitely stack both these team and GPPs. But I do like a sneaky plays. I like Aaron Hicks and I like DJ LeMahieu.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, I love all those. I'm probably going to go back.
Gallo too.
I was saying I'm probably going to go back to the George Springer well. Obviously, the dude's hot right now. Top of that order. I mean, facing the lefty, he matches the pitch type on there. I love Springer. I'll probably keep playing him. There's no reason not to. Regardless of ownership, I think I got him sub 10% ownership yesterday he was in almost every one of my lineups. So obviously he had a 20+ point outing. It was a great day for the George Springer tout. So with that being said, just from a a BVP standpoint, the one that kind of stood out to me was definitely Aaron Judge. He seems to be very boomer bust. 9 plate appearances here, Pete. Hitting 286, but he has 2 bombs off of Kikuchi. I will say that the Yankees do appear very in a good spot, man. I like Kikuchi a lot, but I like him against other teams that struggle against his pitch type. The Yankees, it seems like they are going to be GPP because they're going to hit home runs or they're going to strike out against this guy here. And then on the other side, I like Cortez too. One thing is I do like about him is he's a K pitcher, but he definitely he doesn't walk a lot of guys. They're either going to hit him or they're going to strike out too. So this is a GPP game for me. Anything else on this one?
Does Gallo have a BB have history with Kikuchi?
Yeah, he does actually. I looked it up earlier, and it was 8 plate appearances, hitting 286, slugging 714. He does have 1 home run off of him. So, I mean, there is some BVP there. There's a little bit more history with like DJ LeMahieu, Keener Falifa. Sorry, I always mispronounce his name. And Gleyber Torres has some good BVP against him. No home runs, but has some success, slugging 546, hitting over 400 against him in his career. So nothing that is crazy that I'm just like looking at on the BVP spectrum. Obviously, if we had someone like the Mookie Betts call, or we can talk about Altuve later on, I like those guys. But yeah, I don't have anything else on this one. It should be a good game. Definitely get some game stacks in there for GPP. All right, so we're going to move on over here. We have the Marlins here against the Angels. Patrick Sandoval, Jesus Luzardo going today. I will mention that on the weather, it does look like the winds are out to right at 15 miles per hour, according to the MLB forecast. So that's something to keep in mind, obviously, for this game. Both these pitchers are in somewhat of an interesting spot, Pete. I think that from a talent standpoint, I really do like Luzardo. Patrick Sandoval, though, he's shown that he's pretty decent. So probably not going to get a lot of high ownership here. Alfonso Marquez behind the plate, extreme hitters umpire. What do you got on this game, Pete?
I like this game especially because I like both these pitchers. So we got Angels right now favored minus 145, 9 total. Okay, let's start with Luzardo. We both like Luzardo. This is a weird career, weird kid. He was with the A's. He was one of the most coveted pitching prospects. And then starting Marte trade, went to Miami. He's actually from Miami. He's actually, I believe he's a local kid. And they were all excited about him. He was already struggling before the trade, and then he went to Miami, 6.44 ERA over 57 innings, averaging less than 5 innings in his 12 starts. But looked good in the spring. I saw a lot of comments in the spring from the GM to a lot of the players. Yeah, Marjorie Stone Douglas. That's where he went to high school. So three starts in the spring, struck out 10 over 11 innings, and only gave up 1 run. So, and I also see in the spring he was averaging over 98 miles an hour on his fastballs. Last year he was only averaging 95.5. So I do like Luzardo today. Those early promising returns. If Trout is out again, I would even give Luzardo even more of a bump up. Yeah. But what do we have for Luzardo's price? I don't have the price here in front of me.
It's 7.3K. They're both in the sevens, but yeah, it's it's super GPP upside because this team strikes out one versus left-handed.
And looking at that Angel lineup, man, only one, especially if Trout's out, the only one I really would be worrying me is, Ohtani or Rendon, and get the bottom of the order, guys like Adele playing terrible. So, but definitely, like you said, high GPP upside. It's one of my gut feelings to say about Luzardo. I like him a lot. On the other side, though, we got Sandoval. And Sandoval, who's a lefty. Now, Sandoval is only, 7'3"? So this kid, I mean, I pulled this up among pitchers with a minimum 80 innings pitched last year. He ranked 12th in swinging strikes, 15.2%. And to kind of put that in perspective, Garrett Cole was 14.5. Right. And he's only like 2 percentage points below Scherzer and Robbie Ray, who won AL Cy Young. So much better season, I think, than people think. Opposing offense hit a 214 against them, 26th best mark in the majors.
Right.
And before he went out in I think it was in August with that little back surgery, though. But from May to August, he struggled. But then he's another guy that can definitely hit the fastball, like 97 miles an hour. Great changeup, a dominant changeup. I think Sandoval's changeup may be actually one of the best in the game. He threw it 30% of the time last year, and they only hit 139, 56 strikeouts against them.
Right.
Ridiculous, 28.7% swing rate. So a lot going with Sandoval. He may be the most popular pitcher on this slate. The only thing with him is we've given all these great numbers. Even his slider, 72% of the time. They only batted 188 against him, but he does struggle with command. And that shows with that 10% walk rate. That's his career walk rate. So he gets that command down. We can see a special pitcher in Sandoval. I think Sandoval is a cash pitcher today. Even though I like Luzardo, but I think Sandoval is in a really good spot in cash because we know this Miami lineup, a lot of strikeouts against lefties. A lot of strikeouts. Brian Anderson, 43%. Jesus Sanchez, 35%. Garrett Cooper, 30%. So a lot of Ks in that order, especially the bottom Miami order. So Sandoval, cash. Jesus Luzardo, one of my top sneaky GPP plays. I see this more as a pitching game for DFS today.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was going to mention Adele did start out slow, but he did hit a home run last night. So obviously,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, he has all the talent in the world. He was somebody that I was looking at adding on, my season long league. I think I added him. I might have dropped him. I'm not 100% sure, but he's somebody that talent wise, obviously is there. He's starting to hopefully round him back into form.
Nope. Good call because nice ISO limiting at bats against lefties.
Yeah, for sure. Luzardo, I think it's an extreme GPP play for me, obviously, because I think his upside for Ks is amazing. I would not play him on FanDuel. That's somebody I'm probably going to avoid there because I think he's actually more expensive on FanDuel. He's like $7,500. But what I will say is that from the strikeout standpoint, I like him. Sandoval is actually, I think, $7,400, a little bit cheaper on FanDuel. If it wasn't for the extreme umpires being a hitter umpire, extreme hitters umpire, I think that it would be a game where I would just lock Sandoval in and move on here, especially because he's good at both sides of the plate. The numbers are showing that he's if he's stretched out, I mean, although he may give up some walks here and there, I think that this is a great lineup to attack. Obviously, these Miami hitters are going to strike out against left-handers more than right-handers. So he attacks the right-handed side of the plate very well. He has a good pitch type, a lot of different pitches he throws. I like him a lot, man. I don't see any BVP really to jump on here. So I think that's pretty straightforward because I think that you and I are on the same page. Like Luzardo for GPP and Sandoval absolutely in play for cash here. Is there anything else on this game?
Nope, not at all.
Awesome. All right, so going in, we have Washington and Atlanta, obviously round 2 here. Atlanta's in another great spot here against Patrick Corbin. I think we talked on a previous show about Patrick Corbin, not 100% sure, but with Patrick Corbin, I mean, obviously the guy has had a career where he's been on the up and up, and he's been on the very, very, very down as well. So I do want to kind of talk about him. And Tuki Toussaint, obviously we like him. I know he's a good pitcher here, but both these guys, they can be scary here. So what do you think about this game and pitching, and then, of course, bats?
I have Tucker Davidson starting. Is it Toussaint? I have David. No, does that change? Okay, so that's another one like Baltimore. I had Davidson. Let's get to Patrick Corbin. So everybody, I mean, we all talk about Patrick Corbin, bad pitcher, sub 20% K rate. is a little bit better to lefties, way past his prime, all that. But Patrick Corbin can still, to me, I still think he's a high upside GPP pitcher, especially as he's going to be low owned tonight against Atlanta. So chances are Atlanta's going to bomb him. We know Atlanta's lineup. But Corbin, I mean, reading a lot about Corbin, Davey Martinez kept talking all spring about him. I watched him a lot this spring. Last year, crap year. He's not got a 4.47 ERA against as a career in Washington, but he actually looked pretty good in his first start. Those first 4 innings, I was watching that game. I was like, wow, he looks good. The first 4 innings he had, I think, was 61 pitches, and then all of a sudden, when Robinson Cano came up and bunted for that hit, again they had the shift on, so he bunted for the hit against a shift to lead up the top of the 5th. Then he walked Mark Canha. Then Jeff McNeil hit that single, and then the Mets load the bases up, no one out, and then you got a hit by pitch. I remember it was a slider on 2-2 count to James McMahon, and next thing you know, boom, his game's over after 76 pitches. So that's Patrick Corbin in a nutshell, where he actually showed some really quality signs, but then when you look at it, if you didn't really dig deep in, you think he had a bad game. So I think overall he had a decent game in 4 innings. I see him today as definitely high upside GPP if I'm multi-entering, but the thing is, the Braves against the lefty, Albies, Ozuna, Duvall. I mean, if you stacked the Braves last night and go right back at them today, because we know Corbin's chances more is going to get blown up. I've been saying, no, if you're multi-entering, I would put Corbin in a lineup just in case, because, we still know he has stuff. On the other side, I love Boomstick today. I love Boomstick. I'd probably game stack this. My notes are on Tucker Davidson pretty much, but because I thought Davidson was going, and I wouldn't be playing him anyways. The thing is, they went through that pen last night. So if it's Davidson or Touki Toussaint, whoever it is probably going to go a little bit more than we thought. So I had Davidson 8K. I don't know what Toussaint's price is, but Toussaint's one of these guys that can get blown up also. But I don't know. I'm not playing any of these guys. To me, this is a game stack. I said maybe a little bit Corbin GPPs.
Yeah, Tukey is at 7.3. Corbin's at 6.8 right now. Jim Wolf behind the plate, pitcher's umpire. Obviously, I'm mentioning this because I think that it actually plays more into the game theory of playing, MLB DFS than anything, because these umpires can make a big difference. Yesterday, I know we had I can't remember who it was. Oh, it was
Big Bill Miller.
Chirinos. Well, I was talking about that whenever I think it was early slate, and Bundy or whoever it was that we were playing, I can't remember which pitcher it was actually, and there was a really close call. It was in the strike zone. It was more of a hitter's umpire, so he didn't get the call. Bases got juiced, gave up a run. So all those things are things that can happen. So it's things to keep an eye on. I will say I agree with you. My 2 favorite Braves hitters are Marcell Ozuna and Adam Duvall. I feel like they're the best against this pitch type. With that being said, all the Braves have a lot of history. Ozzie Albies has hit Patrick Corbin great over his career. We love that when he's on the right side of the plate. Obviously, I think this Braves lineup, once you get Ronald Acuna back, they're going to be just extremely dangerous. I think right now, though, they're still good. They're in a great spot. I would love to see Dansby Swanson batting a little bit higher up. I think that maybe he could do. It's kind of weird, though. They're putting a lot of faith in Matt Olson, and I get it. Olson is in a great hitter's park for lefties. Obviously, you talked about it being built for Freddie. So, with that being said, I love Atlanta today. I'm with you on the other side, Nelson Cruz. Love Juan Soto. Going to play him every day if I can. But obviously, he's in a great spot against Tukey here. Anything else on this one, Pete?
No, just game stack, and I may throw Corbin in 1 or 2.
All right. And just for notes, obviously this game, the Dodgers against the Twins, we do anticipate it being rained out, obviously. So with that being said, we have to look and see that if Andrew Heaney does decide to go for the Dodgers, he's somebody we want to consider. But if it's a weather game, you're going to kind of nix him off the slate. We could see Chris Archer on the other side of the games. I don't really want to get too much into that. We can put some stuff in Discord, maybe in your article as well. If somebody plays, people we want to look at like Mookie Betts and the rest of the bunch.
Yeah, because I just want to make a comment about how I can't believe that Dave Roberts was even considering Andrew Heaney as a starter here, man. I don't know. Haney's just to me a bad pitcher. And Archer on the other end said he's just coming back. So yeah, we don't have to talk about this game. We'll do it in Discord. But Andrew Haney to me is just a gas can.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll have to keep an eye on, see if this game plays or not. We want to kind of move on here to the ones that we do know we're going to be playing. We have KC in St. Louis. Obviously, we had the Cardinals not get to play yesterday, and I was looking forward to that. When that game postponed, that kind of threw everything up in the air. But looks like good weather, winds a bit out to left, a bit right to left, so nothing weather-wise that we really have to worry about here. Dakota Hudson and Daniel Lynch is who I have slated to start right now. Dakota Hudson's at 6'3", Daniel Lynch is at 5'5", so we have some cheap pitchers going in. Pete, what do you see in this game?
Okay, I'm thinking we haven't seen ownership numbers yet, so I guess let's start with Dakota Hudson. I think Dakota Hudson is going to be popular today. It's not a bad price. The thing is I'm worried about. Well, he is stretched. He got his pitch count up to 90. He had like a backfield spring training session last week in Jupiter, and they said he was full bore. Whatever he had to get done was supposed to be yesterday's start. The game got called, so now he's starting today. So he's ready to go. But you got to worry about. I mean, his injury history now. He had Tommy John elbow surgery September 2020. He started once last year. That was on October 1st. He went 5 scoreless. But they kind of, like I said, they kind of put the governor on him, and we don't know really how ramped up he is. Even though he did do that 90 on that backfield throw around. But he's in a good spot today. I think against the Royals, he's gonna be popular at that price. I'm probably going to hold off using him in cash, but he's going to be popular. I mean, last year I got a 5.7 by XPIC. His K rate is no. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Daniel Lynch here. He's cashable, but I'm not going to play him. 3.89 XFIP, which is good, but his K rate. I don't like Dakota Hudson's K rate. We like K rates in DFS at 17% from last 2.5 years. Yeah. Good walk rate though, only 2.9%. Keeps the ball on the ground, all that. But we saw what Casey did yesterday. They're pesky, but in their lineup, there's a bunch of strikeouts in this lineup. So Hudson's going to be popular because of the prep cash. I would be a little bit skeptical of him just because of the injury history, and we see what's happened to all these pitchers right now in the first week or so. Nobody's getting stretched out. Nobody's going 6-7 innings. So I wouldn't expect Dakota Hudson, especially when he's coming off Tommy John history in 2020. So that's my take on Hudson. He's playable. He's going to be popular, but I wouldn't be getting crazy, put him in 100% of my lineups.
Yeah, for sure. What about bats, Pete?
We talk on the Royal side. Going against Hudson. I would be looking at probably Salvi Perez. He's still in a little bit of a slump. I mean, he had an RBI single, 1 or 2 hits yesterday, but he hasn't hit the ball hard. Maybe a little Hunter Dozier. Benny had a huge game yesterday. Should be batting third today. So I like those guys like the middle lineup, Benny, Salvi, maybe a little Hunter Dozier. On the other side now, Daniel Lynch. I have absolutely no interest in Daniel Lynch. Another guy below 20% K rate. They finally revealed that he was the 4th starter. He was another one that was like a tale of two cities last year. Flash crazy potential, few games last year. I remember I can't remember, it was the game of July. He was like pitching like Cy Young, but then overall 15 starts, 5.69 ERA, 1.632 WHIP in 60 innings. So that shows this kid still has a lot to grow. They say his pure stuff is one of the best in the organization. I still think he's better than a guy, guys like Carlos Hernandez, some of these other guys, but he's going today. If anything, I'm going to be looking at the other side and looking at some of these bats for the Cardinals up and down the order, but they're, it's probably going to be the most popular stack here. These righties, Tyler O'Neill, Arenado, DeJong, they're going to tee off against this kid now. More I'm looking at him, man. He's less than 20% K rate. 5 ball, 41% put in the hair, 47% hard contact to righties. Yeah, load up Cardinals. Cardinals going to be very popular today, and this is a heavy righty lineup, and Lynch gets smoked by righties. So no interest in Daniel Lynch at all. A lot of interest in the Cardinals.
Yeah, if you wouldn't have said it, I won't bury the lead. This is my favorite stack, I think. Not only because I'm attacking Lynch, but I want to attack that bullpen. Obviously, I love all the Cardinals here. Paul Goldschmidt is probably my favorite play off of the lineup. But they get super right-handed heavy, but a lot of really good contact hitters, a lot of high wobas, a lot of hard contact. This kid. Right now, I say small sample size. He's faced 256 at-bats against the right-handed side of the plate over the last couple of seasons, and he's giving up a 45% hard hit rate. These guys hit the ball hard. He throws a lot of fastballs. Obviously, these guys see it really well. Goldschmidt, O'Neill. You could even pay down and get like an Albert Pujols or Yadi Molina.
Look at the hard contact numbers on the card. Every single guy in that order has got hard contact, over 40%.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I will say that if you're looking, we talked about like Yadi Molina, 3.8 as a catcher here, Albert Pujols, 3.2, probably batting fifth here at first base against Lynch. There's going to be some value Cardinals out there, and there's going to be some pay-ups that are worthwhile. It's unfortunate, obviously, because Goldschmidt and Pujols play the same position, so you got to kind of make a decision on there in stacks. But love Cardinals today. I think this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite GPP stack. Anything else on this game?
No, let's go on to the next game stack.
All right, so we got Colorado and we got Texas here. It looks like we're getting two pitchers, Martin Perez, Mr. Cutter himself, back with Texas, spent a little bit of time in Boston, 5.8K on him. Chad Kuhl, former Pirate, 5.2K. We're playing in Texas. I love this game, obviously, yesterday during the daytime. We get an evening game here and, nothing weather to really report about. What do you like in this game, Pete?
I like the bats. I have no interest in Chad Kuhl. I never have. I definitely could see this. I could definitely see this Texas lineup going off on him. Especially Brad Miller. I like Brad Miller last night, especially leading up 248 ISO. Corey Seager, love Seager, love Nate Lau, all these Rangers I love against Chad Kuhl. Kuhl's a gas can. 40% hard contact. I mean, fly ball rate's not that bad, but once again, high walk rate, low strikeout rate, high xFIP. That's a recipe. This is another one. Just like the Cardinals, there's only Ibanez. He still has a 37% hard contact. Everybody's over like 44% hard contact against righties on this Texas lineup going back the last year and this year. So love Texas, stack them. On the other side, Colorado, same thing. Martin Perez. I've been through the Martin Perez experiment before. I ain't going there again. 18% K rate. Anybody in 20%, you don't play. Extra 5, all this. He does pitch better against lefties, definitely. So, but Colorado's been loading up the righties. Chris Bryant, CJ Cron. You had a nice call on CJ Cron yesterday, which forced me to play him, and I almost won that $27 GPP. I think I came in second or third. So and that's because I switched from Connor Joe to Cron when I saw you saying you loved him. But Joe's in the spot today too. Brendan Rodgers. Tee off time. I think this is probably my favorite game stack, even more than the last ones with the last one we're talking about. So definitely like the Yankees and Toronto and all that. I like this game a lot. No pitchers here. I'm not using any of these pitchers in GVPs.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think that on that side of the plate, Chris Bryant, Brandon Rodgers, Connor Joe, all these guys. I like Cron, but I like him against certain pitch types. I think here I'm definitely going to be targeting to attack Martin Perez here. Obviously on the other side of the plate, the game, we have Chad Kuhl. One thing I'll say about Kuhl is, he's going to struggle for sure against these lefties here. I think Brad Miller might go yard. He might even be my home run pick today. And I
like Brad Miller too.
He's been kind of hot. He's a good fly ball rate, obviously. Great 50% hard hit rate against right-handers, and it's looking like Chad Kuhl is giving up a 46.2% hard hit rate, 226 ISO against lefties. Obviously, pitch type wise, he throws that slider against left-handers. 42% of the time, Brad Miller, Corey Seager, both over 370 WOBAs and 250 ISO for Corey Seager and 317 ISO for Brad Miller. Love those guys today.
What other name? Marcus Semien. Neither of us mentioned, even though it's reverse splits.
Yeah.
Look at his 281 ISO, 371 wool, but 44% hard contact, 46% fly ball rate. I think Semien may be my home run call if Miller's going to be yours.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I can't give it away, but I definitely want to throw some
I
names
like
out.
that.
I gotta allow you to pick some good home run calls and appear very intelligent, Pete. So I'm gonna throw.
Who did we pick yesterday? Who did we pick yesterday? I can't even remember now.
I think it was Ozzy Albies. I can't remember. Both of our guys
did have Albies.
They had good games, but they did not home run. So far, you were just 1, and I am 0 for the season. Picking one guy is tough, man. Like time that I think I was going to pick Soto. He hit a home run, and I didn't. So and so with that being said, obviously CJ Cron from a BVP standpoint has some history here against Martin Perez. Over 20 at bats. He has gone yard on him one time, hitting 333, slugging 619. Something to mention there. Nothing else really that stands out as far as BVP. You're right. We don't really like the pitching at all here. Load up the bats. We're moving on. Houston Astros. I might be a homer, but they look like one of the best teams, if not the best team in MLB right now, man. They're starting out hot. Obviously, hopefully they get Lance McCullers back soon. We got a young guy, Luis Garcia, that you're going to talk about here on the mound here, and going against Madison Bumgarner, who's become a gas can at this point in his career. He has shown flashes, though. I'll give him that, of the old Mad Bum, but I think it's not a great spot for him here. So tell me what you think about this game, Pete.
Like this game a lot on the Astros pitching end. Here's my whole problem is I like Luis Garcia, and I know you're an Astros expert. I'm going to ask you in a second because my only price is Garcia my only problem is a $9,400 price on DraftKings. If he was $9,400, I would say you got to lock him in cash, but that's a lot of money, especially this early in the season. I mean, looking at last year, I was just looking at some tweets. He's got a filthy 85-mile-an-hour changeup. He's got that weird windup, but last year, 155 innings, 3.48 ERA, 9.68 K9, love it, 2.9 walk rate, love it. I think he was like second place rookie of the year. Great talent. So the thing is, can he repeat it? Because if you look at his advanced stats, you're like, well, the xERA 395, xFIP 393, SIERA 391, that's all looking like regression has got to be coming, but it's like too good. But I think this kid is the real deal. He still hasn't really thrown a lot of pitches, but I think he's a real deal. I'm just wondering what your thoughts on him, because I would have him as my main pitcher today, but the price is the only thing that's keeping me down. So I probably have him as one of my main GVPs. I just don't think you can use him in cash. I don't have his spring training pitches, but everything I'm seeing on this kid is, even though numbers are saying regression, I don't see regression coming. And to me, these numbers scream ace to me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the talent's there. If you ask me from just my personal opinion, has he put it together yet? I don't think so. I would love to see him be better against lefties. Obviously, that's something that it's not necessarily that he struggles the first time through. It's like after they've seen him, the second time through is where I worry. But here's what I'll say about this. Is that the Astros had a day off yesterday. A little bit of a travel day. They got done playing the Angels and then had a travel day. Now they're in Arizona as they come back home. We haven't even had our opening homestand yet. So with the travel day in, that extra day of rest, I do think that they're probably not going to really want to let this kid go very long. So that's what my concern is, him being at 9.4. I think that we could see, probably one time through the order and gets through. In the moment he sees a little bit of trouble, the Astros have a good bullpen. So they're going to go right to it, I think, and get some of these guys some innings. So we could only see, 70 to 80 pitches, depending on how he's pitching in there. He could get his strikeouts and get out of there. But I do worry a little bit, these Diamondbacks get super left-handed. You got Varsho, Marte, Peralta.
They can be pesky.
I mean, you're talking about facing, out of the 9 batters, 8 of them are going to be switch hitters or left-handed, with Christian Walker being the only right-handed batter. I'm not too concerned about the bottom of that lineup. A lot of fringe MLB talent at this point in their career. So I will say that if it's not a talent thing. It's more of a I worry that he's gonna get an early hook. That's just my thing with it. So from this particular game, I would like to see a little bit more from him this year. To see, he looked pretty good in spring training. I think that he has strikeout potential. So I went a little bit long on this guy just because I've seen him a lot. I just think that my concern is with the day off of rest. Obviously, the bullpen's fresh. They're going to probably go there a little bit early and try to get an easy win tonight. So that's just my opinion on there. I'll let you finish up. You have Mad Bum to talk about, and then we can talk about Bats.
You know what? I actually watched Bum's first start too. The opener, he wasn't bad. He was doing really well, and then he had that 42 pitch third inning. So he actually started out. He had 2 efficient innings, scoreless. Allowed 1 hit and only 26 pitches in 2 innings.
Yeah.
The good thing was his fastball was sitting at like 92, 93 miles an hour. And now that's actually good compared to his days with the Giants when he was a stud, and his fastball back then was sitting at like 90.4 miles an hour. So there is some good with Bum, but you did see that command slip all of a sudden in that third inning. He started walking people. He did limit damage though after he struck out Will Myers there, but they pulled him early. The Astros are the Astros, good team, but once again, I don't see I don't know. I see more. I see a little bit of good here in Bum. I know that Astros are such a good team. I'm going to stack them, but I wouldn't call the Astros. I've seen a lot of people saying the Astros are top stack of the day. I think it's the Cardinals. Because I still think Bum's got a little bit left in the gas tank. I ain't saying use him in cash or use him in your top 3 or 4 GBPs, but I still think Bumgarner's a good enough pitcher. He may get around his Astro offense. Like the Astros. So if I'm stacking the Astros, they're like my third stack. I still have a little bit of respect for Bumgarner. You may think I'm crazy, but I do.
No, I'm actually going to treat the Astros the exact same way I treated the Blue Jays yesterday, where I think the industry was more in love with them, and I feel like I wanted to get one-off pieces, maybe a 2-man stack. I'm really going to be focused in on Altuve today, probably as my favorite Astro to play, even though he's the most expensive one at 5.2. You're going to see a lot of depressed pricing on the Astros because obviously, if you're not digging in on the surface, it looks like a great spot, and it could be a great spot, especially if they get past Bumgarner. But I do think Bumgarner is somebody who does have a little bit left in him, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that from the Astros standpoint, I would love to see. Bregman's hard to fade at this point because he's just ultra hot. Pena, that rookie kid, looks good. Altuve. If I stack them here, I may just do a 1, 2, 3 stack and maybe just kind of wait and see on the other guys. But I'm gonna treat them a lot like I did the Blue Jays yesterday, for sure. So do you have anything else on this game?
Nope, just mostly Astro stack, and I do like Garcia, but GPP only because of price.
All right, fair enough. All right, last game of the slate: San Diego, San Francisco, round 2 tonight. Obviously, Alex Wood, he kept me from some pretty good money last night. He kind of started to fall apart a little bit. Had some good strikeouts, obviously. On the other side of the game, Victor Diaz, he looked great. So with that being said, we have Yu Darvish here today against Alex Cobb. I will say you're going to see some ownership on both of these guys, Pete. And then, like I said, there's no weather to really speak of here. The wind was blowing out, obviously, I think last night, but it is San Francisco, and that's a pitcher's park here. So with that all being said, we have a pitcher's umpire, Chris Guccione, behind the plate. Looks like it's going to be a pitcher's type of game here. Alex Cobb, a little bit of a resurgence this last season. And then on the other side, you have Yu Darvish, and I'm always a Yu Darvish fan. What are we seeing here from this game, Pete?
Well, anybody that's followed me on the sites I've been on the last 5, 6, 7 years knows I'm a big Alex Cobb guy, and been a big fan of watching him a lot in person in Tampa. I just love his attitude. He's so hard nosed. You hear Evan Longoria talk about him a lot about they were so happy when he came to the Giants. He's one of these guys that's totally against all the new style of scouting and advanced metrics. He's like an old school guy.
Yeah.
But they brought him back here, and the Giants like an old school organization. And it's cool was that 2014 Rays team. You got Longoria on this Giant team now, off from that Rays team, Jake McGee, Kirk Casale. Is there even Craig Albanez, actually the bullpen coach? So he's actually kind of a homecoming here. And I think Cobb's in a good spot tonight. First of all, just looking, I mean, last year's 3.76 ERA, 2.92 FIP, 98 strikeouts, 33 walks, 93 innings. It's pretty damn good. The problem with Cobb is his health. And what I like about Cobb is he throws that sinker like 42% of the time. And last year he threw that. Then he's got that split finger. He threw 37% of the time. So I put those two numbers together before the show with that sinker and that fast and that split finger. 8 out of every 10 pitches is designed to do one of two things: make it just put the ball on the ground or chase the ball in the dirt. Yeah. So I think he's probably the best. I call him a fisherman. He's probably the best fisherman in the majors. One of the probably top 2 or 3 at getting guys to put the ball on the ground or chase the ball in the dirt. And he ranks in 93rd percentile in chase rate. So I'm throwing all these numbers out there. I'm just saying, I like Alex Cobb. I'm always gonna probably to a fault, but remember, this is a guy that used to throw a lot harder, but he's learned to pitch again. So I like Cobb tonight. I'm not using him. Well, what's he, 7K?
Yeah, 7K. I think I'm going to use him, actually. So I'll make that argument if I need to. But yeah, I mean,
I actually may. I really have thought about like my main starters, because we do like the kid Sandoval, the kid for the Angels. Right. But he's definitely in the running as one of my top cash plays. And then Darvish is Darvish. I think Darvish can be popular, but he's 10K. I mean, he threw great, right? I mean, opening again, he left with a no-hitter.
Yeah.
So
he might be more stretched out. Yeah, I kind of put that in the comments there, is that with his second start here, he could go a little bit longer. 25% K rate. He throws traditionally a 28% K rate on his side. Things are matching up for him to get some strikeouts here, and he's good against both sides of the plate.
So what did Darvish do when he left that no-hitter? I know we had talked last week. He had to throw more like 4 innings in any spring training outing. But what did he pitch? 5 innings in the last game?
He threw 6 innings. He had 3 Ks. It was a quality start. .667 WHIP. I think he might have had 4 walks. I'm not 100% sure.
4 walks. Yeah, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, 6 no-hit innings.
I would have liked to see the strikeouts obviously be better. So
that was getting me that game. But 92 pitches, so he stretched. So is Darvish the top SP on the slate?
I think that, from a safety standpoint, for sure, I like him. I don't know if I'm going to want to pay up for him, because there's a lot of bad pitchers that I want to attack here. Right. And I really like that mid-range. I like Alex Cobb a lot. I think that, he's somebody that the numbers show that, he should be, on point here. He's hovering around the 92, 93 mile per hour. But that splitter he throws is like high 80s, but man, that's a heavy pitch, bro. It when it hits those that's just a hard pitch. You can't get any elevation on that, like you said. And from what I know defensively, I could be wrong, but from what I know defensively, that I think that they're pretty decent. So I think that they should be getting a lot of outs. This looks to me like one of those games that's going to be like a 3-2 type of outing, maybe something like that. I don't see it going very high. I like Cobb a lot here in that mid-range, but I think that Darvish, if he goes under owned here, I might like him more. The pitcher's umpire, like we talked about. So yeah, I'm kind of torn. I really have to dig in here, but I do lean Alex Cobb more than Darvish at this point, but I love you today still. So.
Man, Brad Miller's catching some ownership too. Me and you were pretty much on the same page today, and everything you just said is I totally agree with. As you're talking, I saw some of these projections came out. So who as of right now, the highest projected pitcher beside you? Now this is crazy. I'm looking at Andrew Heaney at like 40% owned. Obviously, that's probably going to go away because of the rain. Right. But who would even? I would never even think of pitching Andrew Heaney in my cash. I don't know. Maybe I'm the fool. Maybe I'm a fish. But
I think there's just K upside there. I think that's really what people are focused in on.
There's the Dodgers, I guess. A new name for the Dodgers, but Brad Miller's seeing some love here too, man. So I think people must be watching. He just jumped up like 35%.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so with that being said, man, I think that kind of wraps up those games. I do want to talk about. Let's see. We want to go over your top plays, Pete, and then your favorite GPP. I think we kind of covered it, but one more time, we're going to wrap that up. I'll give mine, and then we're going to go into our home run calls, and then we're going to take it home. So what are you thinking? Top plays and GPP for you?
All right. So I guess, the top overall pitcher is going to be you if you want to pay up. I like Sandoval a lot. I may end up using Sandoval, and I may end up using Alex Cobb. So I like Darvish, Cobb, and Sandoval, my top ones, and I do like Luis Garcia, but GPP only. On hitting end, love the Rangers. I love that game stack, Colorado, Texas game stack, and the Cardinals. So probably Rangers, Cardinals. That's probably my top two, and my top overall player on the day is probably I'd probably be Corey Seager. Right now, I'm probably looking at Corey Seager at 5K against Chad Gaskin and Cool.
Yeah.
Probably Seager right now at the moment.
Yeah, that's fair. Is Seager gonna be your home run call? I've picked him before, and he had a great game.
I'm gonna go back to what I said during the show. I'm looking at Marcus Semien reverse splits home run today against Chad Gaskin and Cool. So I'm gonna be a little bit different. I'm going Marcus Semien today. I just like the spot he's in.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I've kind of been looking around. I wanted to be different on my home run call. So I am going to be a little bit different here and just kind of see if it pans out. But I'm going to go and I'm going to target Adam Duvall here as a home run call against Patrick Corbin. Obviously, Adam Duvall. Yeah, he's a fly ball hitter, 58% fly ball rate here. Hard hit kind of guy. I think that Patrick Corbin throws a good pitch type against him. And I really love that Ozuna Duvall little mini stack there. And I love a lot of players. I love Brad Miller. Obviously, we talked about that. My top plays, I think I'm kind of on board with you. I think that I'm going to be stacking the Cardinals, obviously, up and down the order. Astros 1, 2, 3 stack with Altuve, Pena, and Bregman's going to be really something that I'm going to focus in on as well. But, yeah, GPP stacks, I think you mentioned it. I think our favorite game was the Colorado-Texas game to target. Obviously, there's one-off spots. I love George Springer going back to the beginning of the show. And then, of course, we got to see if Milwaukee comes through for us. I think they could do well. Righties or lefties, depending on who the Orioles throw out there. It's going to be a gas can one way or the other. So that being said, Pete,
we both like the Zardo, too, as a GPP pitcher.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so your home run call was
Marcus
Semien. And mine is going to be Adam Duvall, guys. That's it for us today. We're keeping it nice and short and sweet for you. I hope you're able to watch. Be sure to check us out. Hit the thumbs up and the bell for the likes and subscribing and notifications for us here, guys. We appreciate you as always. Check us out. The Discord link is in the chat. Be sure to look at our free promo, $25 right now for the MLB. That's half off everything that we do offer premium-wise here at yourfielderschoice.com. Pete, appreciate you joining me, brother, today, and we're out of here, man. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
You too, brother.